I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the zeal symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
We recognize that Sandoval County is located on the ancestral land of indigenous people. We acknowledge and honor our land caretakers and commit to retain and advocate for the traditions and cultural knowledge indigenous people have practiced since time immemorial. And just as a gentle reminder, that was written by our very own Leah Aki-Bakowitz and Tweety Swazo, one of our vice chairs. Thank you. Welcome to the Democratic Party of Sandoval County's second Saturday event. Please keep in mind we are not having second Saturday in August. We are not having first Friday in August or September. We will reconvene again for second Saturday in September right here at 11 a.m. We are meeting in person at Vitucci's Moderno Italian Restaurant at 1908 Wellspring Avenue in Rio Rancho. Thank you for attending. Just be sure to sign in, and there are also donation envelopes over here. Let's just do this. If you are new or haven't been here in a while, please raise your hand. Welcome, everybody. We appreciate you coming. And we hope that we see much, much more of you. Let's see. We have a special menu. Please remember that the pandemic, which is still ongoing, has been rough on everyone, especially in the restaurant industry. Please consider order to go. They have great gelato, although I don't know if you really want to take it to go. I don't know if they have any today, but they have cannolis. They have good dessert. They have great dessert. So if you have a wonderful lunch here, and my favorite is that chicken limone, right? It's got prosciutto ham on the bottom. It's really good. Anyway, so remember, consider getting something to go. Don't forget to tip our wait staff and make sure that you come here during the week. They'll also give you a to-go order. Next up, Deb Dabson, the president of the Sandoval County Federation of Democratic Women.
So I have a few announcements. The first one is just an aside. When you are speaking, if you're speaking as a candidate or a speaker, pretend that the microphone is an ice cream cone that you want to lick. Because if you don't lick it. Please don't lick it. Unless you have it up here. So that's the first one. Second of all, I have two others. Second of all, we have registered to be in Sunday is Fun Day in Rio Rancho, and we play a game that gives children school supplies. Right now, school supplies are on sale, so I'm going to ask you all to consider buying them and bringing them here, or just make sure I get them so that we can give them out. The basics. Pencils, yeah. Go ahead.
So bringing them here, we are not having here. So let's tell them where the office is. They can bring them to the office.
You are so smart. I don't remember the address.
661 Quantum Road, Suite 12.
661 Quantum Road, Suite 12.
Or you can call me.
And the third thing I want to say is the Federation is hosting a social gathering in August. We haven't clinched the date yet, but it'll be one of the first 2 weekends in August. And it's going to be at our office at 661 Bottom Road, behind it. And we're going to set up tents and things like that. And we're going to be hosting all of the judges that are running, and because we haven't seen all of them. And so I'm going to set them all up and have them come and talk to us. And then, of course, any candidates that want to. That's all we have. And that's it. So you'll be getting more information as I know the dates. I'll probably have it on the calendar. Thanks.
And the calendar is at sandovaldemocrats.org/events. Just go to Sandoval Democrats. You can sign up for our newsletter. You can see what's going on there. Next up is Donnie Leonard.
did want to ask, what's the date on the fun day?
August, I want to say 12th,
Okay, thank you.
I think.
It's a big event, they get a lot of people out there. So thank you, Madam President.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm not Laura Montoya, but I am here on her behalf. She's taking a little trip for a change outside the state, which was much needed. I want to tell you a little bit of some of the things that's going on with Laura.
21st.
She's changing her logo to Laura for county treasurer, state treasurer, pardon me, because it's Montoya versus Montoya.
Yeah,
So I
that's
had to get the Laura up there. So everybody push Laura for state treasurer. If elected, she would be the first female treasurer in New Mexico. She would also be the only, at this moment, Hispanic treasurer in the United States. So that would be two accomplishments in one, you might say. She's kicking off her statewide, probably next week or week after next. She's going to be traveling a lot. If you all have friends in Roswell, Carlsbad, Clovis, Tucson, down south in Las Cruces or something, if you could drop her or drop me a note of who they are and submit their maybe their email address or something, so that when she's in that area and having an event or anything, maybe we can invite them to go and listen to her. She's pretty good to listen to. She has a lot to say, and that's part of her selling point, is how knowledgeable she is, not about just numbers, but also government in general. Let's see, she won, in case you don't know, and maybe we're repeating, she won 31 of the 33 counties in the primary. And she had the highest percentage and number of votes of anybody running that had a contested race, either Democrat or Republican. So her showing was the #1 showing in the state as far as support. The parades, we had the Corrales Parade, which was very well attended, and the governor, of course, she was the top billing, the top billing in the parade. I don't know how she moves so fast with those little legs and those cowboy boots, but man, she moves. And she got very, very good support from the spectators. Laura also got very good support. She wasn't there, but we had about 8 or 9 of us that were carrying signs for her.
And wearing t-shirts.
And wearing t-shirts, that's right, including Madam President, Madam Chair. Which are you? Oh, Chair, okay.
But you know, President sounds good.
President sounds good. We had a very, very good response. And she really had a great weekend in Las Vegas, New Mexico. The whole northern New Mexico showed up for their fiesta type 4th of July celebration. If you see on her Facebook, she's got herself in her fancy dress. It was really cool. Fundraisers, we have some fundraisers coming up and some events, and we'll put it on the website, and we'll try and get everybody the opportunity to come and not only donate, but also show support and meet Laura. If you haven't met her, I'm going to say personally, because I think that's really important. I think it's real easy for you to go to your friends after you know more about the candidates and tell them, look, this is a good candidate, whether it be Greg or whoever it is, to help with not only voting, but also financial support. With that, I thank you very much for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Donnie.
I have a little funny story, and it won't take but a second. I just want to tell you guys that when COVID happened, Laura was actually busy collecting water and medical supplies for the outerlying Native communities that didn't have access to any of it. And she took that upon herself and actually caught COVID and was quite sick for a while. But she really made sure that people were taken care of, especially in our county. She is a hometown girl. I know she's from Las Vegas, but we get to claim her because she lives here now. Okay, so she's ours. She's ours. So, oh, sure.
I want to elaborate on this a little bit. So Laura got involved with masks to start with, and she had all these seamstresses making masks, hundreds and thousands of masks. And then the water and the food became an issue, especially in the Native American area, Navajo Nation the most. So she got to taking food and water out there, and she saw the need was so big that it was bigger than her. So she convinced the National Guard to got approval from the National Guard to haul 18-wheelers full of water and food and stuff out there. The Navajo Nation pushed back to start with. They said, "Oh no, we're a sovereign nation. We can't have another government army coming into our deal." And she worked with them, and she said, "Look," and as it turned out, of course, the Navajo Nation opened their arms to them and understood we're all one, we're all trying to help. So that was the end of the story. I think that was really important. Boy, she was trying to run for the U.S. House, but everybody else was staying home in bed and undercover, and she was out working.
I know I was home. That's a powerful pull when you can get the National Guard turned out. Just okay, so after our next speaker, we'll have Pete Zollinger and Haley Fortin speak. But right now, it is my pleasure. Hi, welcome. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Josette Arvizu, the Deputy Director of ProgressNow New Mexico. Josette's background in marketing includes copywriting, paid media, SEO, and content strategy for businesses and nonprofits, including convention and visitor bureaus from Bermuda to Anaheim. It's pretty cool. She began her career teaching writing to college students while in New Mexico State University's MFA in Creative Writing program. Her previous work promoting diversity and inclusion includes coordination of writing and traditional arts workshops for Native American youth at Tucson Indian Center. ProgressNow New Mexico's mission is, as a progressive communications hub, ProgressNow New Mexico centers justice for systemically excluded communities by building political power. Hold on. Sorry. It read really smoothly on my computer. Through building political power through partnerships, trusted digital communications, and issue-based and political campaigns. So for the primary election, I was actually going to my CNN website, and this ad popped up for them, and I was like, hey, ProgressNow New Mexico on the CNN website. Yeah, it's cool, right? So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Josette Arvizu, Deputy Director of ProgressNow New Mexico.
Hi everyone, very nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for that warm welcome as well. So yes, I'm Josette Arvizu, Deputy Director of ProgressNow New Mexico. As I said in my bio, I'm actually from here in New Mexico. I grew up in Valencia County. I grew up in Bosque Farms, New Mexico, on the South Loop, and went to Los Lunas schools, graduated from Los Lunas High School a while ago. And after college and grad school at New Mexico State, moved away, as a lot of young people do, from our state, and moved to Tucson, got into nonprofit and teaching, and throughout the years, kind of like transitioned over to marketing and communications. So I was in Houston for several years. My partner was there working on a PhD. He and I had met at New Mexico State. He's from Las Cruces, and so we did the swamp for 5 years. And it was a good experience. I got an opportunity to work in marketing at a boutique ad agency, and that's how I kind of got my introduction to the digital marketing world. So that was mostly like furniture and healthcare and lots of business to consumer. But kind of part of hearts, moved back to Tucson several years ago, working with a company, again, that does digital marketing and like back-end database work for conventions and visitors bureaus. So like the New Mexico True website, that was one of our websites. And pretty much any kind of convention and visitors bureau website that you can think of is one that company worked on. So I worked in content creation, so anything you would read on the website, articles about different locations and things like that, was work that I did with my team. So about right when the pandemic started, I decided that I needed to come home. My parents are getting older and they still live in Muskie Farms, and I wanted to be close, so I started looking at the nonprofit world again. So I was offered a role as communications manager with ProgressNow, and was very happy to accept that. So how many people have heard of ProgressNow New Mexico? A lot of folks. Good. So established many years ago. We're kind of like in a new iteration. Our executive director, Alyssa Barnes, was with Roadrunner Food Bank for over a decade. So she has led us into kind of a new era of lots of collaboration, kind of a breath of fresh air. She has built a team that includes our existing energy and communications, our energy and environment director, Lucas, who's down in Cruces. Lucas Herndon. If you're on Twitter, you guys on Twitter? Some folks, you might notice Lucas talking about oil and gas industry related work and environmental work. So he has been like the Twitter guru for many years from ProgressNow, and a lot of us are new. In the last 2 years, a little over 2 years, Alyssa has built a team. We have a graphic designer and our reproductive justice lead, who has been working and staying up to date on everything abortion related. So as we know that the Supreme Court has overturned Roe versus Wade, kind of unbelievable for, I guess, many of us who probably saw it the first time or have thought that it was established law. So here we are with SCOTUS being so-called activist judges and overturning lots of things that are important to civil liberties. So that's Jackie. I actually came in with a colleague named Edgar Cruz. He's from Farmington. He was brought in. We try to bring folks from across the state. We work primarily remotely, and that's like a product of the pandemic. And also just to make sure that we have coverage around the state for different communities. I currently live in Albuquerque in the Northeast Heights, and I have transitioned to deputy director over the past few months. So what that means is I do a little bit of everything. I assist Alyssa with like the grants. I'm kind of the lead for placing digital ads. As was mentioned, I've gotten ProgressNow to start being more face forward on Google Ads. So if you saw something on CNN website, that's because I placed some ads on Google. Yay! And so, yeah, we're just kind of like getting our little foot in the door on that front as the organization improves and develops better kind of workflows and that kind of thing. So kind of my main work, like day to day, is managing our creative team, designers, writers, and integrating that with like political messaging and any of the policy related work. So as is said in our mission, which is like probably one of the first projects I worked on, the first day, it was the day that Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away, and it was my first day at work. So jumping right into that, into community organizing, to going to the park, to knowing that meant that things were going to get hard, and they did. But we worked on our mission, and we are a communications hub. So if you're familiar with like the independent expenditure side of things, as opposed to the candidate side of things, we work as an infrastructure group. So we work closely with the so-called 501c3 table, which is a collection of orgs that meet together to work on progressive policy, and that's the Center for Civic Policy, which is located downtown, and we share office space with them, and also with the C4 side, which is the election side of things. So that's American Votes. So we work with both kind of sides of things from like a nonprofit standpoint, and we're a little bit in both. So on the C3 side, we do a lot of education. So we do like video series, we go to our YouTube channel, we have a series on methane and the environmental movement, oil and gas drilling. So really trying to explain the impacts of fossil fuel, basically extraction in our state, and its connection to funding, to policy. So we know we rely very heavily on oil and gas for our budget, right? This last budget session is no different. We work very closely with American Votes and with other orgs that are doing election work. So we worked on the primary because we were more of like a support. Other orgs kind of decided where they want to play and what races. We were focused obviously in the primary primarily on the House district races, and ProgressNow put together our progressive, like basically endorsement list. So our partners endorse candidates, so like Planned Parenthood, Sierra Club, Conservation Voters, various labor organizations. We see who they endorse, and then we just kind of compile that so you can kind of see the impact of progressive endorsements for certain candidates. So that's kind of our role into making it easier for folks to find the information they need, and also just kind of promoting kind of the behind the scenes things as well. If you go to our website, it's ProgressNow NM.org, and we have blogs on different topics. For the primary, we did point out that there were some moderate Dems that were funded by oil and gas, or by more moderate kind of interests, like Republican money coming into moderate Dem races. So we kind of like tried to point that out to our progressive audience. We're on Facebook, we're on TikTok, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube. And again, I do a lot of the digital strategies, so see what races we're playing in, and mainly it's to get out the vote for New Mexico. As long as our folks vote, I know they can vote, I know that they're same day, know what to bring, then we win. And Alyssa wanted me to point out that in Sandoval County, it is data-wise totally possible for this county to be blue. You just have to get people out. So it's becoming increasingly a county that is populated by people of color, but maybe it's just not as visible. So that's going to be a key thing in kind of changing the way people think about Sandoval County, about Rio Rancho, and I think it's, yeah, again, it's totally possible. We're already seeing movement in that direction. Go ahead.
Yeah, is there a way for DPSC to, thank you.
Is there a way for DPSC to kind of partner with ProgressNow as to getting the vote out? Can we work with you guys? And is it possible for our candidates, like we have a candidate here, Kathleen, raise your hand, who is over there, and she's endorsed by Planned Parenthood. So we have some very forward-thinking candidates in our county, and it'd be great if you guys could point that out also. Is that possible?
Oh, definitely. Give me, send me an email, and we can talk about kind of what we're working on.
Thank you. And I have another question. So you guys also, you do candidates, but you also do issues. What are the top 3 issues? I mean, there's so many. What are the top 3 issues ProgressNow New Mexico is working on? and how can we help you?
Awesome. Yeah, we definitely would like to see more folks engaged online. Actually, our top demographic on Facebook is women 65 and older. Obviously, our audiences on different platforms are a little bit different. TikTok tends to be super young, which is why we just we're in the process of hiring 2 students from Mexico State who grew up on the internet. And their answers to questions are so funny. They've learned so much about politics and about the reproductive justice movement online. And we're able to suss out disinformation from misinformation. It's great. So that gives me hope because there is so much of the far right influencing young people on the internet. So we try to dispel a lot of those myths. Our top 3 issues are reproductive justice. So right now, obviously, that's a key thing with New Mexico being a state that has no trigger bans. We got the old state abortion ban off the books. With changing the state legislature to be more progressive, we got some of those moderates out and made sure to get that off the books before Roe was overturned, which was amazing, far thinking from the ACLU, from Planned Parenthood, from Bold Futures down south, from all the orgs that work on reproductive justice. So that's one of our main things is reproductive justice, and we also have a long-standing relationship with conservation, environment, and energy-related items as well. Those are our top 2. It's kind of hard to pick a third because we do kind of work with other folks on kind of equity-related issues. So we're part of our mission, and this is kind of where progressive movement is going, is to centering Black and Indigenous people of color. So always thinking in terms of, how does that affect our most vulnerable people? So, we say pregnant persons rather than, saying women and that kind of thing. And it's important because some of the issues that we work on, like right now, one of my main projects is working with the Zero Fares Coalition, Albuquerque, for no cost, no fare access to public transit. And that ends up being, no means testing. We'll just allow people to have access to the transportation needs. And that's one item that we feel like is an equity issue. Other things that we've worked on is we do a lot of uplift of our partner work, like for the Vote Yes for Kids campaign, to get that constitutional amendment through this November, so make sure that we adequately fund childcare and early education. So we do a lot of work with partners in that front. And I will say historically, ProgressNow has had a perception of being a very white-led organization, and maybe not as inclusive. So that's something that, with the new hiring, and I'm a person of color, a lot of us are part of the LGBT community, really centering those voices and taking a helpful approach. So we never want to lead necessarily on anything, but we want to see where we can fill the gaps, where we can do uplift. I do a lot of trainings on how to place ads online, how to build up your digital infrastructure, how to get seen on Google, how to make sure your website's in good shape. So we're really that hub and that communications resource for our partners. Any other questions?
Are there volunteer opportunities with ProgressNow New Mexico, and what are they? I have a lot of questions.
Oh yeah, we don't have a formal volunteer program right now, but we're working on it. We definitely have lots of inquiries. We're mostly looking at more, we need help with tabling, because we've been doing a lot more in-person events now that people have been opening up events to the public quasi-post-pandemic. So tabling would be great. Always just reach out, email us. We'll get you on our volunteer list, and then we'll reach out to you if we have an event somewhere where you're nearby.
So do you have an event planned for Sandoval County?
We do not at this time.
We would like that.
We can work with you.
We have space. Right now.
Sure. Any other questions?
something that Progress Now can help?
We're working on that too. We have some, it is difficult. I probably would consider myself a young person, and I realize I'm 41 years old.
Trust me, you are.
But speaking of TikTok and all of that, is that something that Progress Now can help the DPSC with?
Definitely. We're definitely working on kind of on the ground grassroots building of student organizations. I think that helps a lot. Working with like college dems or maybe high school students. There are a lot of youth-led orgs, especially in the environmental movement, where bringing those folks in, building them up, getting them involved, not only with the party, but with nonprofits is really important. As I said, I left after grad school because I didn't know where to get a job. So we really want to build that pipeline, right, of talents, of New Mexicans that know this land, that know the people, that know the landscape, and continue the work through their careers. Any other questions?
I just have a quick question.
I think traditionally the Democratic Party has been terrible in their messaging, nationally and even locally. So what would you say would be the kind of the generic message to get the attention of the people across this country about the trouble we're really in if we don't elect Democrats? Do you have a snappy few words? I mean, and so it doesn't get all tangled up in 26 lines and 5-syllable words. Just a straight message.
I don't have the answer to that question. I think right now we're kind of at that crux point where the party at the national level needs to face the facts of losing the messaging war, losing kind of, obviously like on the losing side some cultural issues as well. And I think if you're not playing with any kind of moral compass, it's a lot easier to just hammer every nail out there, right? And we're the ones that are trying to have nuance and care about people and working within some kind of ethical system. So one thing we're working on right now is we're taking messages related to top issue areas like economic issues in New Mexico, reproductive justice, gun control. We're doing some message testing with our national message testing firm, and we're going to see where the emphasis is going into the general election. So we are working on message testing at the moment because the thing about working in this space is that we're in our bubble and we know what we care about, but it's sometimes very hard to figure out where people in general, like in New Mexico, what they're thinking about in terms of like their everyday lives and how it relates to policy and politics. So we are working on that right now and kind of trying to narrow down the messaging, the things that people are worried about, things that they're concerned about, things they care about. But unfortunately there are no easy answers to that. But I would say on the national level, like I really wish the Democratic Party would face facts and stop doing business as usual, because obviously we're not facing business as usual times. By any stretch. Like this is pretty scary the way SCOTUS has gone with 6-7 decisions that have rolled back civil liberties. So we're really on the kind of precipice here. And so being to the point of getting more young people involved, that's really going to be key in changing the way the party works.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, Josette. Everybody.
One more.
One more. Sorry.
2 more questions.
Okay.
I'm from CNN. I have 2 questions. I may have missed it, and so I apologize. How are you funded?
We're funded through some anonymous donations, dark money, and we're funded through individual donors as well. We have a lot of different kind of funding streams for different issues, chiefly environmental and reproductive justice.
Secondly, whenever you talk about events, can you give us an idea of what your definition of an event is?
For instance, a couple of weeks ago, we worked with an organization out of Santa Fe called Noise for Now, and they do basically like merchandising, reproductive justice. They work with musical artists, So we were at the Ani DeFranco concert in Santa Fe, selling merch, Noise for Now merch, including a t-shirt I came up with, which is "Don't Snitch on My Snatch." Apologies. With the proceeds going to New Mexico abortion funds. So Mariposa funds, Indigenous Women Rising, and that's apologies. So that was the shirt that I came up with the idea for. It's gotten a lot of play, and again, we're just trying to raise money for the abortion funds in the state as more people come to our state for healthcare.
When did you think you would hear that? People coming to New Mexico for health care. Thank you, Governor. Any other questions?
I have a statement. When we talk about the messaging, instead of just saying, oh, we got to do this, we got to do that, we've done a lot of things already. And I think we have to put that out there as well. Because if we just say, oh, we've got to do this and we've got to do that, well, you've been saying that. So I think we need to lead off with some of what we've accomplished.
Absolutely.
Yes. Good point, sorry, thank you. Anybody else? Well, great, thank you so much, Josette.
Thanks for coming. That's ProgressNow New Mexico, and that is ProgressNowNM.org. Fun fact, the director, Alyssa Barnes, is my merge sister. How about that? So, and I knew her when we went through a merge, she was the director of the Roadrunner Food Bank. So I've enjoyed seeing her transition into this new role and doing such a great job. Pete, you're standing up, so I guess you're next.
Since when do I need a mic? Okay, I am again, looks like doing the Dow ballot races. So, Kathy's probably pretty safe. I'm still going to ask for the initial money, but anyway, so that's 3 people. Katie, Greg, and Michelle.
Linda.
Well, not yet. I know her. I'm going to ask for her for my last sentence. Okay, now, don't know what I'm going to get. Last time, Chelsea just cut the checks. Now, have to, by new party rules, go through a committee. So, right now we're a little short. So what I wish you to do is my last sentence is you get out and be willing to carry stuff around for Linda Gallegos. My second to last sentence. Chris, if we can do both, I don't know the geography, Michelle and Greg, I think they overlap. And I think Kathy and Katie overlap. If we could be killing 2 birds with 1 stone, but Chris, you please supervise that and make sure you're satisfied it's working.
Yes, yeah, people are already doing that with Kathleen and Catherine and killing the birds with 1 stone.
Okay, but please supervise that and make sure you're satisfied.
Okay.
That one isn't being concentrated on at the expense of the other. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Pete. Pete Zollinger from DPNM. Yay, thank you. So, about messaging, I kind of like the slogan of, we're not crazy. Or, we help people, that kind of thing. Simple. All right, so speaking of birds, next up, Haley Fortin. Haley is our field organizer from the DPNM coordinated campaign, and she's going to talk to you this morning about helping out.
Alright, hi guys, most of you know me and know all the things I do, but just a quick recap, I am Kathleen Tate's treasurer. But now I have also recently taken on the role of becoming the field organizer for the coordinated campaign in Rio Rancho, Corrales, down part in Albuquerque, the Alameda, Los Ranchos area, Placitas, and Bernalillo. It's a big job. I have numbers I gotta hit, and I gotta hit these numbers. So what I'm gonna ask for you today is a little different than my normal ask. Today I'm here to ask you for people and not money. I don't need money. Well, I do need money. Everyone needs money. We all need money. But right now, I need people. I need people to get out and walk. I need phone banking and I need text banking. Our phone banking system is now from home, so it's virtual. It takes you an hour and a half. It's not hard. Canvassing, it's hot right now, but the truth is we don't have time to be laying off the gas right now. We need to get out there and we need to start knocking doors and doing the stuff that people don't want to do. And you guys are my good Democrats here. You're all really engaged. So if you can't walk with me, what I'd like from you, eventually, maybe today, maybe another day, is I'd like you to bring me someone. Maybe you're young people. Maybe I can get them as a fellow young person involved in this, interested in this, whatnot. But until then, I'm really, really, really asking for you to try to get me some people who can come out and walk. We're walking for everybody from MLG down the list that are Democrats. So come on out, help us. We want to get Democrats elected. We need Democrats elected. And you're going to be hearing from me probably more often and probably with the same request. So try to cut me a little break.
Would you tell us your email or phone number so we can volunteer?
Yes, that's a good question. So my email is Haley, my first name, HAILEY, at nmdemocrats.org, and I am on the sign-in sheet here. My phone number is 505-681-6310. I do have a couple of events that I want to mention for you. Tonight, we are going to be canvassing for Kathleen in Corrales Heights. We will be leaving from the Sabana Grande MVD parking lot at 5 p.m., so we would love for you to come out and join us for that. If not, next week, MLG will be canvassing with us. So we're going to be doing, I think, either Corrales or Corrales Heights. I will let you guys know. But if either of those things sound interesting, I've got clipboards that say Democratic Party of New Mexico up here. If you'll sign up for me, that would be awesome. And other than that, I know you're all fighting the good fight, and you're always being asked for things. So thank you for taking the time to hear me. What's up, Pete?
Yeah. Two things that I asked. Remember, I've not seen this in any place except Corrales, New Mexico. They expect their candidates to be independent types, independent of party organization. More so in Corrales than any place I know of in the state. So please keep our candidates separate in Corrales. And then second, please remember, do not mix the big shots with our down ballot people, because our down ballot people get lost in the shuffle. Let, in this particular case, Chris Dahl worry about the down ballot people.
Absolutely. Anything else?
Yeah, Chris.
All right. Chris, you better get on it.
I have your marching orders, sir. All right. Thank you, Haley.
Thank you.
We will be working with Haley to get a schedule that together for everybody, to make everybody happy. We're going to try anyway. Can't always do it, but we're going to try. Next up is Kathleen Cates. She is candidate for HB 44. She is canvassing today at 5. She's got her little canvassing kids. I love it. Go girl.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, everybody. I'm Kathleen M. Cates. I'm running for the state House of Representatives, District 44. I just have a couple of things I want to go over. One is Alex did a great job with our grand opening for the Sandoval Dean's Office. Thank you so much. It's going to be a wonderful place to be able to gather and socialize and gather before and after our canvassing. I want to let you know about a couple of events. I've got them on the table. I'm asking you to either take the paper, or everybody's got a cell phone here, if they could take a picture of that and send it to 3 people, minimum, 3 people. Just send it to them. We've got an event coming up on next Saturday in Rio Rancho and one on the 21st in Corrales. I don't have it on here, but I have another event on the 1st in Corrales as well, the 1st of August. And so I want to let you know about those events. It's a great opportunity for us to gather and for you to get to know more about me and be able to talk more specifically about policy. In fact, the 16th, we call it Brunch and Policy. It's a morning meeting at 10 o'clock, and so I hope that you will be able to make it. I will say to Alex, I'm going to steal a line from Alex of the grand opening when you were talking about messaging. She said something that day that really hit home for me is, well, what I'm asking for you to do is I need you to talk to your neighbors. I need you to make conversation in the grocery store line. I need you to be able to talk to somebody while you're waiting in the post office and tell them how important it is to vote right now. I know it's midterms. It is not the time to relax. It is not the time to disengage. And one of the things that Alex said that reverberated for me was, if you don't feel like there's a candidate, a Democratic candidate out there that is giving you the exact answer that you want, look behind and see the answer you're going to get if you don't vote. You have to vote, not just for what you want, but what you don't want. That is the message I want to make very clear, that we have to be engaged. And you want to talk to young people, I want you to talk to your kids. I want you to talk to your grandkids. Ask them to talk to their friends. Do they understand? Because they have grown up in a life where there was always Roe versus Wade. They need to hear your stories about your neighbor and what they had to go through, and who could afford to fly to Brazil, and who had to go to the secret hospital in Chicago. They need to hear those stories, and I'm telling you, I believe that the under 35 crowd is going to be motivated by the recidivation of Roe versus Wade. I will also say I am very concerned about the Supreme Court. When the EPA is not allowed to regulate air and water, what is the EPA for? It is just shocking, and I will tell you that's what I need you to do, is please talk to your neighbor, talk to the post office, listen to them, not just talk to them, listen to them and find out what is their alternative. If they stay home, they're just going to get more of what they're getting. So thank you. I'm Kathleen M. Cates. Vote for Kathleen.com. And if those of you who don't know me, I'll be glad to stick around so you can get to know, but I didn't want to tell any more of my story to those you already know. So.
All right. Thank you, Kathleen. HD44. And that August 1st event will also include Commissioner Kathy Bruck and special guest Melanie Stansbury. Love her, right? Love her. Next up, I want to introduce you to a candidate you guys know him. It's Greg Bennett for Sandoval County Commission, District 3.
My name is Greg Bennett, and I'm running for County Commissioner in the District 3, Sandoval County. What can I say? Yeah. Okay, everybody there? Everyone's got it? All right. What can I say that hasn't already been said? You've been listening to people all morning long, and what have they told you? You need to get out and vote. And I need you to get out and vote. I am the last name on the ballot. I need you to go all the way down, folks. You can't stop with NLG. You have to go all the way down, back where the borders are, okay? So, I need you to vote. I also need you to come out, as you've heard, like David said, and help canvass. I have a sign-up sheet. You can sign up at any time. I now have it. Chris, thank you very much, has now split them out so that they're hard ones for me, the more DTSs, and then the more democratic, softer ones for people who walk with me or walk alone. If you want to drive me around, that's perfectly okay as well. I went out yesterday with my wife. She drove me around. We did a a turf in record time. I was like, I can't believe this. So driving me around helps a lot because you don't think houses are far away, but my God, those driveways go on forever. Anyway, so that's it. A little bit about me right now. What I've been doing is I've been trying to reach out to unions right now and get endorsements from them. On Friday, I got endorsed by the Central New Mexico Labor Council. So I talked to them, and they were nice enough to say, hey, we kind of like you. You're all right. Next week, I'm sorry, Kathleen, but I won't be able to be there with you at 10 because I'm talking to the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers in Bermuda. So that's kind of where my focus is for the next couple of weeks is going to be on that, but out getting canvassing and doing that. So if you have time, please, come on down. It's an easy walk. It's good. It's good for you. It's exercise. And it's really hot. So if you want to drive me around, that's cool too. Again, my name is Greg Bennett. I'm running for Sandoval County Commissioner in District 3. Thank you.
What kind of response are you getting? Greg, what kind of response are you getting from the DTSs?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That is, okay, so yesterday, it's a mixed bag. Because it's even a mixed bag when you go to Democrats. You know, the big Democrats, they voted, it says on my minivan little app, and you knock on the door, and they scream at me. It says no soliciting, get off my porch. I don't want you to buy anything, I'm just giving you my piece of paper. Yesterday was a great day for DTSs. Met with several people, older, younger, people that I caught in their car as they were driving away. I was chasing them down the road, going, wait a minute, you can't drive away. And they all listened. They seemed very receptive to me. So I don't know if it's just I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Because I know the DTS is kind of migrate more to the Republican side than they do the Democrat side. But I think right now it's been good. So nobody's shot me. I do get a lot of what party are you from? And I go, well, my standard line is, are you packing heat? And they go, no. And I said, okay, then I'm a Democrat because I can probably outrun you. But if they're packing heat, I'm like, well, what would you like me to be? I don't care. I'm an independent. But anyway, no, I tell them I'm a Democrat. Anyway. Pete, can't get out without talking to you.
If it comes up, I haven't looked up the specific case yet. But you have a right that supersedes theirs to go to their door. I'll look up the case. They don't have to give you the time of day once you get there, but you have a right for this court case to go to their door.
And knock on the door?
Yes.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I have one more comment. So just so you know, I've been going to the canvassing a lot, and I will tell you, the independents and even a lot of the Republicans understand that persuadables are sick and tired of the status quo. And the fact that you took the time to knock on the door, you're saying, I'm giving you my email address because I am interested in what you have to say. I want you to be able to get a hold of me. I'm taking the time so you can learn about me and that you can communicate to me. Right there starts to build the foundation of credibility more so than any sign or any talk of policy or anything like that. You're getting down to that I am going to be available and try to serve this community. And so I do think that canvassing is the key for this persuasion.
Great, thank you so much. Next up is Sandoval County Assessor Linda Gallegos. Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm looking at Doug and Carla over here, and I'm reminded that most of you guys know my story. And I'm the current
County Assessor. I know there's some new people here. Hello, my name is Linda Gallegos. I'm the current assessor. But I appreciate it because Doug at our pop-up said, hey, Linda, when we're out there talking, what's like talking points? Because when I get here, I'd love to have conversations. I'd love to tell you guys something specific that happened in the office. And normally, I'm kind of long-winded, right? And that takes some time. But I appreciate it. And if you guys are out there talking to anybody and it comes up, or I mean, certainly if you bring it up, I appreciate it too, because that's what I need help with, just getting the vote out there. Some talking points that I think are super important is that, first, I've kept my promises. And I like to say that too, because 4 years ago, I asked you just to trust me, that I was going to do this job. I had a lot of experience in real estate. I've got experience in working with people. I've had my investment license. I work with budgets. So I asked you to, to have some faith in me. Now I'm here 4 years later and saying, I've kept my promises. And I know I'm trying to keep it short, and I'm having a hard time doing that. But if there were some talking points I'd like you to be able to say, and hopefully if you have any questions, please ask me. I've been there. I've kept my promises. I've showed up to work. I've worked on our budget. I've improved our budget. We were the fastest growing county. San Juan County is still the fastest growing county. I've worked with the commission to create 2 new appraiser positions because, again, we've got to get that value. We've got to get out there. And for a lot of people who don't know what the assessor's office do, we go out and we assess and we value properties. So, again, work with the budget, been there, kept my promises, doing the job a little bit as far as work with the commission. And I wanted to get your feel for this, but this is the phrase that I think maybe might sum it up. I'm out there assessing properties and in the office valuing people. So I don't know about like maybe kind of what Doug was trying to think about that, shortening it up as far as what I've been doing and what I've been all about. I'm kind of curious, and again, you guys have a lot of experience in that stuff. I'd love to hear what your suggestions might be to be able to like really pinpoint what I've been out there in the office doing. And so please, if you don't mind, I'm going to be staying after a little bit and kind of working with the party on getting some advice. Because again, I'm in there concentrating on the job of assessor, but I know I need to shorten up and let people know what I'm out there and why I want to get another 4 years at this job. So thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it. Linda Gallegos, really running for San Juan County Assessor. Wonderful. Linda Gallegos, promises kept. I like it. So, sorry about that. Next up, I just get off my game a little bit when the phone rings. I wanted to acknowledge our elected officials, and I want to thank Senator Brady McKenna for coming today. Thank you, Senator. One of our most transparent and inclusive and wonderful senators in the whole state. We're so lucky that she serves San Juan County. And another, where is she? There she is, Barbara Romo, our district attorney. We have to share Barbara with 2 other counties, but we don't feel that. We feel like she completely and totally takes care of us, and we appreciate her so, so much. I want to thank the executive committee members and precinct chairs for being here. We need more precinct chairs if you want to get more involved, more active. Please, did you guys have anything to say? No? Okay. Please visit our website's event section for more information regarding all events. Remember, there will be no second Saturday or first Friday. No second Saturday in August. We will resume here again in September. There is no first Friday in August or September. The first Friday in September is Labor Day weekend. I want to show you the signs that we've had made. We're asking for donations for these signs, a minimum donation of $10 if that's possible. They are at 661 Quantum Road, Suite 12. Haley, you had something? Yes, Kate?
What are the hours?
They're varying right now. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 10 to 1 and 2 to 6. And I'm trying to find coverage. So someone I had covering the office came down with COVID. So I'm trying to get coverage. We have Friday mornings from 11 to 1. We have Saturday afternoon, that's my dad, from 1 to 3. I gave him the Saturday because that was going to be the hardest to bill. It's like, how about that, Dad? He's like, okay. And we have, we're closed Sundays and Mondays, but if there's something that we need to do, I can meet you there with enough notice.
Haley, you had something you wanted to say?
Oh, I'm going to canvass every Saturday until the election. Since we are not having second Saturday next month, I challenge every one of you to get out and canvass. Doesn't have to be with me, but we may as well use this time that we've all already committed to like do something useful for the cause. So if you want to canvass with me, that'd be awesome. But at a minimum, might as well go spend that Saturday supporting Democrats in a different way than you usually do.
And the party might be able to come up with donuts and coffee for. If we're gonna focus on some of our. We will.
Sandoval County party, ma'am.
Absolutely. We don't expect anything from DPN anymore. Anyway, so thank you so much. Do you have an announcement?
I just have a quick one. It's really just an update. The actual date of Sunday to Sunday in Rio Rancho is August 21. I got it back. It's 21. Sunday.
August 21st. So we have some time. So we can come by and collect school supplies from people. We'd be happy to do that. So my phone number is 505-350-6590. 505-350-6590. Everybody's got it. If you need it, I'll give it to you. So sign up for our newsletter at sandovaldemocrats.org. Watch our events calendar. Like us on social media. Share our posts. Just sharing the post is incredibly helpful. We're so happy and grateful for the meeting place and the staff. So don't forget to tip your wait staff. And I thank you so much. This second Saturday luncheon is adjourned.